Alright, starting out on day, I don't even know anymore. But I'm starting out today with an awesome milestone. I've been using this halogen work light the last couple of, ooh, that's hot. Halogen work light the last couple of days, threatening to burn my house down with it. But today is the day that I got the light installed. Started out the day with that. Got that flat panel up there. I countersunk some screws into the edge of it. That took a lot longer than it should have. Not super proud of that countersink, but whatever. The one on the other side's even worse. On the first one I didn't know what I was doing. On the second one I got overconfident. But I am very pleased with the cleanness and awesomeness of that flat panel display, and it is nice and bright in here. You can't see on the camera because the camera automatically adjusts, but the difference between this fixture and like a single spiral CFL bulb, I mean, it's like the difference between noon and dusk. So, alright, the rest of it looks terrible because it's all messy, but let me slap in those last few little easy pieces of panel. And then we'll be to the point of cleaning up and caulking and getting all the equipment reinstalled. Oh, and I got to do the floor paint. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm not even joking when I say I can't even remember what day this is. We're beyond that. I'm just mind-numbingly going forward with this. I ended up pulling this piece back off here because I wanted to put an outlet there because I'm going to end up putting the dehumidifier in that corner, and I hope this works. I've got this panel, I almost can't even see it. Oh, that's because that was weird. I don't know why that was happening. Alright, outlet over there. So this panel right here, I gotta try to fit it in there, but the thing is the panel has got a good bit of curve to it. I actually tried to flatten it out by putting some stuff on it, and I don't know if my array of tape is going to be strong enough to hold it. If it got a really good grip on here, it probably would be, but I don't know how good a grip it's really going to get on the particle board. I've already brushed it off as good as I could. Man, I just feel like this is doomed to failure, but we'll see if it gets it up there good enough. Alright. Yeah, getting there. That is the last major panel piece, and it's right there, and I would put it up except for I ran out of the silicone caulk. I have more of the painter's caulk, but I realized that using the silicone caulk is better, looks better on the panel. I got this piece of the one place where there's a piece of trim is on this outside corner. You can see it there going up. I have to fit that other piece in and put a little filler piece there. It's just taped because the only thing holding this corner together, I mean, it's nailed, but the only thing really holding the corner together is it's just that I caulked the inside of the piece of trim on all sides and squished it together there. So when a big long line of caulk dries, it actually can form a pretty serious adhesive. This is true over here as well. I put this piece in, and kind of as predicted, the double-sided tape was not up to the task of holding the bowed piece of wood against there. And I started thinking about the moisture differences in here, and I was like, man, there's just no way. I've got to put some kind of fastener in it. So what is going on over here is it has caulk. You know, there's caulk that I put in between the two boards when I squished them together this way. So there's a full caulk joint in there. And what I did is I pushed it up as tight as it would go to the wall, and then drove a finish nail in it right here, because that's just going to hold it while the caulk dries. Hopefully, and I'm pretty sure this will work. When that caulk dries, I can pull those three nails out, and just the butt joint of the caulk will hold it, and it probably will. And then after that, what I'll do is I'll take a plastic scraper and I'll scrape that seam. I'll clean all the dirt out of it, because you can see, since there's so much dirt on the panel, that when I wipe my finger down it got dirt in the caulk. So what I'll do, and also I wanted that joint to be taped, like I tape most joints to make them straight and perfect. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to scrape that old caulk, tape it, and then recaulk it after everything gets cleaned up, perfect, bright, shiny white. That goes for just about everything. Everywhere you don't see caulk yet, that's what I'm waiting on. I'm going to clean it, and then I'm going to put that in. There's a little filler piece, it's right there, but I need to put in that little filler piece behind the pipe. I have to glue that piece in to make it fit right, so I'm going to do that. Lots of holes and gaps to fill with the caulk, which it's almost that time because we're done with the paneling just about. I'll get another tube or a couple tubes of that caulk tomorrow and finish this up, and then need to make a little filler piece there and tape all that off and caulk it, and then on camera it will look beautiful because all those lines you can see up against the ceiling will just vanish. It'll just look like white nothingness in here, which is awesome. I'm so glad to be at that point, because once I get everything you know, all caulked up, I've got to make my ultimate decision on whether I'm doing the floor paint or not. Kind of want to get everything else ready and then do that, where I can let it sit for a while. But I need to get back in here too. I need to get back in and get back in production. So got all kinds of pressures on this situation. But we're almost done. All the crazy stuff is done. The only really crazy, super like nuts thing that I may do is there's the drain right there on the dehumidifier. I want the dehuey to sit right here. You can see I scribed a line there to show what the minimum height of the tank. I'm going to move the tank down. You can see I'm moving the tank down from its original location like 9 or 10 inches to here, and that's to give just enough room for that to sit under it, so there will be a little bit of space left at the top that I'm going to cram the filter in. But this has a drain, so I have two choices. I can either run a line that goes around the bottom of the floor and then kind of curly cues around and dumps into there. And that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. The line would lay back against the corner, so it wouldn't be under your feet, and you could secure it there if you needed to. But it doesn't really meet my aesthetic. I would really like that drain to disappear into the wall right back there and somehow make it to the only available drain that there really is, which is the drain going back through here. But in order to make that work, what I'll have to do is, there's no way to bore longitudinally through that wall all the way. So what I'm going to have to do, and none of this is painted yet, it's been sitting here for years unpainted waiting for me to finish the spackling and paint it. But that's an advantage now, because what I can do is I can take off that piece of baseboard right there. I can trim out, if it's not already tall enough or high enough up, I can trim out the bottom of that bead board, which will give you another 1/4 of an inch, and then I can route out a 1/4 of an inch rabbet on the back of the baseboard. So what will happen is I'll take the piece of baseboard off, drill a hole through the floor, probably that way, but in any case through the corner over there, which will come out on the other side, so I can put a piece of 3/8 polyline that will drain into that and then run behind that piece of trim and eventually interface with the drain, the extant drain for the sink right there. I'll just drill a hole in the side of it and stick it in the side of the pipe and caulk it up. And that will do it. Worst case scenario, if you do that, is if that drain backed up completely below the level of the concrete, and it backed all the way up and backed all the way down this line and came into here, all it would do is come up to here and eventually overflow the tub in here. So if the drain flooded all the way up to the sink, it would in fact dump water out of the top of this tub and it would go on the floor. But number one, that is very unlikely, and number two, if it did, it would just go into the sump here, and this room for all intents and purposes is waterproof. So you know, it's a very unlikely thing, and if it did happen, it would just cause there to be a leak in the grow room. And trust me, there have been many gallons of water leaked onto this floor. Like it's impervious, so no worries there. Worst it would be is I would waste some water and have to clear out a drain. But I mean, that drain, I have no reason to think it would clog, but if the worst case scenario happened, that's what would happen. So not that bad. Oh man, more and more to do. Alrighty.